everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This week's video is going to be a redraw of a screenshot from the cartoon Avatar: The Last Airbender. And it's going to be a pretty chill video. I'm going to be talking about a few things, so let's just go ahead and get started. So right off the bat, I just want to say that the month of June has been especially hard for me, just personally. I had some things going on in my life. I won't really get into it, but it did affect me to the point where for basically the entire month, I hadn't drawn anything. I didn't work on my 2500 challenge. I just didn't really feel inspired to draw at all, to be honest. So because of everything that was going on, I wanted something easy to help me sort of get back into the flow of making art again. And I thought this would be the perfect thing to do. It's just a little 8x8 artwork, and it really didn't take me any time at all. But you may have noticed that I didn't record the sketching phase because I felt very rusty, and to be honest, the sketches were kind of embarrassing. My first initial sketch of Toph that I did, her head was really elongated to the point where she kind of looked like an alien. You know, I really wish I could have shown you that one. I will put some pictures up of what my second and third sketches look like of Toph. They're a little bit better, a little more structured. And but that first initial sketch that I did just looked terrible. And I think when you feel like you haven't, or rather when you feel very rusty and you're trying to draw, it can be really frustrating. Because most of the time it's not coming together right away like you would hope. But since I wasn't drawing for the month, I wanted to do things that I actually enjoyed to maybe help inspire me again. I played a lot of Overwatch, more than I care to admit, but I was sort of getting back into playing Overwatch. And I was also working on my island in Animal Crossing a lot. I'm definitely, putting in hours there as well. I do feel like my island isn't as, pretty as some of the ones you see on Pinterest or Instagram, but I'm working up towards, something that I can sort of call my own. In relation to this video, obviously, I'm drawing something from The Last Airbender. I recently rewatched the entire series with my boyfriend, and he's actually seen a few bits and pieces of the show before. But he hasn't actually watched it entirely from beginning to end, so we got to do that together, and his favorite character was actually Uncle Iroh. I think something about, a wise old man who loves tea and, sort of comes from a troubled past. I think, he's a pretty cool character. But he liked calling him Mushi, since that was his fake name they used in the show whenever they were in Ba Sing Se. So we call him Mushi. But my favorite character, out of the show was really Toph. I just think there's something, kind of badass about having a little blind girl, sort of kick butt with earthbending. I think she's just always been my favorite character ever since the show premiered, way back when, years ago. So I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna just redraw a screenshot of her. And we'll see what it looks like in my style. And I was actually pleasantly surprised by the results. I thought it turned out really well, in my opinion. But as far as what I've been doing, I've been working a lot. Some of you who may have watched some of my other videos may have known that for the month of May, I was actually out of work just because of the virus and everything. But I'm actually back at work now. I've been back for, a few weeks. Well, more than a few weeks, I think. But anyway, I'm back at work, and it hasn't been entirely too easy. After we came back, there was a lot of markdowns we had to do, and because we had markdowns, that means we have relays to do, which basically relays are just sort of resets of the fixtures in the department. And because I work in the home decor department, it's basically, I think 80% of the store. It's the entire middle section of the store, so it's, it takes up a big chunk of space. And so whenever home decor has any sort of relays or resets, it does take a while, and there is a lot to do. Unfortunately, the full-time person that I work with in the home decor section is out due to surgery, so it's just been me working in the home decor department. And, you know, keep in mind, I'm part-time, and honestly, they've been asking me to, you know, work more and, you know, this and that, but honestly, I don't really want to, and it's, you know, I feel bad because I do want to help out, but at the same time, it's not really where my, where I really want to put in all of my energy. I want to focus on my art and on making videos for you guys. That's something I've wanted to do for a while. And now that I have the time and sort of the motivation to do all of that, and I've been, you know, making videos for a while now, almost a year actually, you know, I don't really want to go back to working full-time and having all of my time consumed by, you know, something I'm not really passionate about. So anyway, like I've said, I've been having to work and order the department by myself, but I do get help from other coworkers, you know, once they're done with whatever it is that they're doing. Because we do have a lot of relays going on, you know, it does tend to come with a lot of confusion, stress, and just messiness. There are a lot of things that I think could, you know, be changed in order to make relays a little bit easier, but, you know, it is what it is, and so I'm just trying to make it through the entire thing and hopefully not die. As far as little random things that I've done this month, recently my boyfriend and I actually watched a movie on Netflix called The Last Days of American Crime, and I gotta tell you guys, this movie was pretty bad. I don't know, just the entire, like, the movie's 2.5 hours long. It's supposed to be an action movie, and you don't even really get much action until like an hour in. And just the characters themselves are written really weirdly, and just the acting was kind of off. But the whole premise of the movie, and I'm not good at summaries, so I'm just gonna read what the summary was on Google. But it basically says, 2 men and a woman plan the heist of the century before a government broadcast signal wipes out crime forever. And just a little bit of context, you know, just to sort of expand on it a little bit. What happens in the movie is that it takes place in America, and the government has installed these sort of, I guess, radio towers throughout the United States. And I guess at some point, you know, all of the Americans were injected with this sort of little, I don't know if it's a microchip, but it's this little thing that they inject sort of close to your brain. When these towers turn on, if a person at that point tries to commit a crime or do any act that would be considered illegal, then this sort of frequency gets sent out to this person's brain that basically like freezes them and stops them from doing that crime. So because of this, the United States wouldn't have any need for the police, you know, or any sort of enforcement, law enforcement. So all of the police officers, you know, surrender their weapons, and they're basically out of jobs, and because, you know, this frequency is going to keep everybody in check, more or less. Which is an interesting premise, but like I said, the execution of this movie was just really bad. And it got to the point where we weren't really watching it seriously. We were just sort of watching it and making fun of it as we went along. It was one of those types of movies. If you guys want to know a little more about it, I would recommend not watching it, but, you know, go on YouTube and like watch a review on the movie, because they'll basically cover everything. But it's such a weird movie. One thing though is that I thought the main character looked a lot like Adam from Funhouse, and I'll put some pictures up too so you can kind of compare. But the entire time I was watching this movie, I was like, that is Adam from Funhouse. Like, it looks exactly like him. But yeah, that was just something sort of funny. And of course, since it's like it's supposed to be like an action kind of gritty type of movie, and of course there's a romantic interest, and the entire time this movie is happening, there's a countdown within the world happening to when like these radio towers are going to go off. And I believe when it starts, the countdown is like maybe like a few days away, and so they're trying to plan a heist and I think drive into Canada, because the United States is the only, I guess, country that is having this sort of defense, I guess. You know, they're the only ones having the radio signals. So people are trying to go to Canada to sort of escape it. Anyway, because there is a female character in this movie, there is sort of a forced romantic relationship. And like I said, there's a countdown that happens at the beginning, and it's only like a few days away. And so they try to cram in this like romantic relationship within a few days. And, you know, it gets to the point where like, I think the woman says she loves him and, you know, things like that. But the entire time I'm like, you've only known each other for like a few days. Like how could you possibly... How could you possibly love this man that you barely met? I don't know, but you know, I had a lot of gripes with the movie, but you know, I wasn't taking it too seriously. It was just something to make fun of at the time, you know? But anyway, I wanted to talk about maybe like future videos that I have planned. I am thinking about maybe recording another sketchbook tour. I recorded one a while back. I'm not even sure when my last one was. It's probably been about a few months though. I have a lot of old sketchbooks and I want to get through those first before I show some of my newer ones. I feel like there's a lot of progress to show since I have years and years worth of sketchbooks, but I definitely have to, you know, go through all of them first. So I think maybe the next video I put out will be a sketchbook tour. And this upcoming sketchbook is going to be, you know, a pretty big one, so it might be a lengthy video. And speaking of other videos, I just wanted to touch on my 2500 challenge. Like I said, I haven't been drawing a lot this month. I think towards the end of the month is when I started to sort of try to get back into my 2500 challenge. I decided maybe I would draw hands. I mean, I was still kind of iffy on like what topic I wanted to tackle, but I do have a artist reference book on hands and faces, so I decided to do just the hand part, and I think I only managed to do like 5 hands within an hour, and that was only one day, so I've only really drawn 5 things for the month. But you know, I think, you know, July is coming pretty quickly and I want to do better in July. Maybe the month of July we'll just work on hands and everything. Just a little update on, you know, what's going on and what I've been up to. But anyway, you guys, I know this one wasn't a very long video. If you guys have any questions on the artwork itself or maybe how I work, I feel like there are some things that I do within the video when it comes to making the drawing that I didn't really touch on, obviously, in this video. But if you guys would like to know maybe like a little tips and tricks for how I work, or maybe a little more insight on that, just let me know in the comments below. But anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys! Thank you so much for watching. I post new art videos every other Wednesday, so consider subscribing to the channel by clicking my logo on the screen or the subscribe button down below. If you'd like to further support this channel and me, you can buy me a Ko-fi in the link below, and anyone who donates gets a shout out at the end of my videos. Thanks, guys!